Blockchain meetup, which is actually all on Bitcoin one, because as all of you know, probably Bitcoin is getting more and more, less and less, let's say, popular. And blockchain technology is coming over, and it seems taking over this Bitcoin some kind of buzz, and now everybody's talking about blockchain technology, how to use that, and I think that we hold this meetup for over the 1 year. We make a pause, and it seems that now it's critical mass for different events that this blockchain is getting hotter and hotter and cooler. I decided to start just again this group, probably restart this group and try to understand what's going on in this Bitcoin and blockchain things in Latvia, and see how we could move forward with evangelize this kind of stuff and see real life applications. So yeah, for those for the first time, my name is Rihards Gailums. I'm a technology entrepreneur and organizer of different technology meetup groups. Probably this is a very simple agenda for today. There's almost 15 people subscribed to this event. As we see, there's a little bit less. Hopefully next time we will get a little bit more crowd here, because I asked one very interesting Estonian guy come here and talk about a bit from Tallinn University, by the way, to talk about blockchain applications in Estonia and different projects. It seems that in Estonia it's really popular now, more popular here than here, but probably the right path for promoting this blockchain and Bitcoin things is for the fintech startups, because last year there's a new some sort of term rise, fintech startups. Rietum Bank, by the way, is very eager to popularize them and support them, and there will be different events together with TechHub, for example, next week or this week, I even don't know, so-called fintech breakfast, fintech accelerators and other stuff. And I would be happy if blockchain startups or blockchain projects made in Latvia could join this fintech movement, because it's probably very comfortable. So today we'll probably start with personal introductions, very shortly who you are and what your experience. Then we have one speaker today. Jan Peter told a story about, it was some sort of hackathon or something like that, or competition?
Yeah, exactly. It was a 2-month competition online. Yeah, and then one of this.
Okay, so not just like fixed hackathon when you're sitting down and doing something. So it's coding 2 months, and then there's a jury which is deciding which project is better. Okay. At the end will be an announcement, so you could really speak out what you're working, what you're looking for, and so on. So there's a little more, a couple more people, projects will probably move from it. Okay, probably start from the first row very briefly. Who am I, what I'm doing, what Bitcoin experience. Just introduce yourself to other for easier networking.
Yeah, probably let's start with me. Okay, my name is Dmitry, and together with Sandra, we are introducing Latvian telecommunication company Sancom. We are engaged.
What's the name, sorry?
Sancom.
Okay.
Sancom. We are engaged in telecommunications and IT. Yeah? And personally, I'm a big enthusiast. I'm a big fan of Bitcoin and sort of different forks which were started based on blockchain technology. And I'm using Bitcoin, I'm playing with Bitcoin, I'm investing, I'm playing on exchange markets. Though we still didn't launch Bitcoin as a currency to accept to use in our services. Though I'm still thinking, considering, and waiting for this, the final moment of inspiration to start operating.
So, how do you feel Bitcoin is dead now? what's the situation now? So some time ago, half year ago, there's some feelings that the exchange rate dropped in I don't know 200 or something USD. So it's kind of feeling that it's going.
I'm constantly monitoring the network and exchange rates because I invested money here. Yeah.
What is exchange rate by the way today? Or
Currently roughly about 400
it's not bad, by the
USD.
way.
Well,
It's getting better, let's say.
yes, but just roughly. But you remember these prices on the Cyprus, yeah? When rates become extremely high.
It was 2 years, 3 years ago.
Exactly. And many people, as well as me, thought that we wasted a lot of time, and if we would buy bitcoins a bit earlier, a couple of years, and then we would be millionaires and so on.
Right.
So, therefore, I'm still considering Bitcoin as a real alternative to existing
Monetary system.
exactly. And
Especially Bitcoin or blockchain as protocol.
definitely blockchain. Bitcoin is the most known example of using blockchain, though there are famous, very promising projects like NXT, like Ethereum, and so on. So, on my opinion, for all these technologies become popular, people have to become more familiar with that, and it is especially important for simple customers, simple users, to understand how simple it can be used and how it can be accepted in everyday life. And this is what I see is a major
Problem.
yes, the major problem, the major cause.
Yeah, a year ago we talked about first ATM probably not. I don't know what situation right now. Do we have ATM Bitcoin?
No.
Because one Estonian guy just wrote me about legislation and legal stuff because he's representing a company who is installing one of the first Bitcoin ATMs in Estonia, and they are looking for expanding in Latvia. But I don't know what's the legal status by the way right now. It's legal, not legal. So I propose him to come to the meetup and talk to people who is in the industry probably here because I'm not an insider in this industry, but I'm not in the banking sector regulation. So. Do you have some insights what's going on in regulation now? Latvia?
Well, a lot of talks,
Okay.
though nothing special. I discussed the possibility, there should be some reason for people, for example, in a different countries, in a different part of the world, to start using it. Yeah? It is cheap to transfer money using blockchain, and several currencies like Litecoin and so on. But people still don't understand all these regulational things. They don't understand clearly how money can be entered into blockchain and how it should be out. So
They're a little bit afraid about losing money and
of course it is
money laundering laws and
still considerable
Russian
as an example. If someone firstly hears about blockchain, Bitcoin, then the first question, what is the support, what is the background, and who can guarantee that this electronic cryptocurrency supported by someone? And as soon as you're telling, well, it's based on the trust, then the huge question, we heard about something like MMM and so on, there is also, we are talking about trust, and a lot of people just lost money. So, and not many people, they used to be huge enthusiasts or probably, let's say, freaks who entered in this concept and understand behind that. So not many people understands and trusts. This is what I see currently, taking in account all this history for about 7 years.
But in Latvia, of course, there's no discussions about different use of blockchain, because Estonia is moving about decentralized government, decentralized autonomous organizations, and maybe not so big talks about financial blockchain. In Latvia, of course, I didn't hear about this other uses. By the way, there's just only some sort of stereotypes. Bitcoin is money laundering, and that's it. So we need some sort of change, try to change this perception, this name. I don't know.
Well, as soon as large players started to take seriously the concept of a blockchain, like banks, like governments, as you said, I think it can become more popular as soon as someone who has a reputation says, okay, we're using it for example, as a voting system. It's good. It's good promotion. Let's see what happens.
It seems that Estonian government and society are probably a little bit more advanced in technical side of you, because last year there was the political party representative who talked about some sort of Bitcoin blockchain integration in voting system and something like that. I didn't hear anything about this from politicians here talking about understanding even what it's all about, how we could use this in governments or something like that. We're a little bit behind, let's say 5 years in understanding, technical understanding of this thing from Estonia. Hopefully we need to educate somehow this society, government to move forward with this.
Personally, I personally hope for that. Yeah, if we are talking about Estonia, actually, in my opinion, they are doing great things. The first thing, probably also you heard that Estonia is the first country who offers so-called
Citizenship.
Exactly. E-citizenship. So as soon as you get once there and you have this electronic ID card, electronic passport, you can manage everything remotely. So you can open companies there, you can provide financial institutions with the necessary reports and so on and so on. So you don't even need to enter the second time to Estonia as soon as you want to do something as a company, as an entrepreneur. Well, and if they are starting to use blockchain, I'm not surprised much. So they are good.
Last year we talked with BitNation about putting this governance thing on some sort of blockchain protocol. Not centralized over controls, some sort of virtual government, not government residency, but they're trying some sort of decentralize and find out the trustable ways how to put this kind of thing, which usually have been put in a very centralized way, on decentralized way, using blockchain and BitNation, some stuff. So, yeah. Okay, let's take let's move to the next class. Probably just a couple of words.
I'm Konstantin Vasilenko, so we are trying to build a Bitcoin exchange in Latvia.
Okay.
It's not the classical exchange like Bitstamp or Kraken, it's more like a digital or cryptocurrency exchange where people can buy Bitcoin and altcoins and also sell. And also exchange all other digital currencies that are at the moment. So we have like public beta for like half year, but we're still kind of developing and building a customer base and also trying to figure out the way out of it with Latvia. With the local tax department.
Did you try to raise funding in this traditional way?
No,
You're just focused on
fully self-funding.
Okay. Because if you're looking for funding, probably you could go together with fintech startups in order to promote this kind of things to traditional investors. Yeah. If they're ready here in Latvia, I don't know.
Yeah, so far we're not ready yet.
You are not ready. Okay.
We kind of want probably to build it on our own.
Okay.
We have some discussion with some investors, but it's more about the legal stuff. Basically, the biggest question that all of you might have here is how to make it, Bitcoin sales as legal as possible in Latvia. So you can come to us, buy Bitcoins, we give you receipts, and everybody's happy. So far, we kind of found a way for the small deals, but not for the big ones. So everything above 2,000 euros is illegal.
Did you try to talk with the regulation office?
Yeah, I mean, we get some legal advices from some law companies here, and we understood that there is no regulation right now, so we don't need to basically talk to FEB because in Europe there is no regulation. I mean, right now, this year, this FATF, the FATF organization in Europe, they are creating the guidelines for cryptocurrency exchanges, right? So hopefully mid of the year they will finish this document, they will publish it, and at the end of the year the European Parliament will accept the law, and basically they will create a regulation like bit license in New York, for example. When this will be done, then you can go to a local government and say, hey guys, we want to get this license. Basically that's what we hope for.
So we hope for a centralized European system.
Yeah, because I mean, right now our VEB or whatever, we have no idea. There is only a few official statements where like Bank of Latvia says they don't recommend any local companies to deal with Bitcoins, and this is official statement. But they don't reject.
There's no big changes over last year because the same situation was approximately at this time last year.
So basically it will improve.
2 years ago.
Yeah, so hopefully it will improve, but we are now focusing not on local customers. We have basically just testing with some friends and some guys who find us on the internet, but we're focusing on international customers, where our local legislation is not applicable.
Cool. Okay, thank you. What about you? A few words.
Other colors. I work for Accenture for a long time as a database developer. During the last Bitcoin meetup in December, I got my first Bitcoins. Since then I have done some experiments, checking how transaction goes, trying out different wallets, reading Satoshi's white paper, then started to investigate more on Ethereum, and I see Ethereum's future brighter than Bitcoin's future.
Okay.
So, and I have invested some money also into Ethereum, and I think after I'll get some more free time, probably I will spend some time learning how to develop smart contracts, check how the apps are being made.
Cool, thank you. A few words about you?
Yeah, I'm Jan. I will present in a few minutes a wallet that I made in JavaScript. My background is actually finance and analysis, like statistics. But lately I've become interested in programming, so I just want to try to learn, make my first JavaScript application and stuff like that. So you'll see it soon enough. My primary work in Latvia is in real estate, but in my spare time I just started programming, and I want to maybe change career into programming as well.
It's a nice combination. Real estate.
Okay, how about you?
Hello, my name is Lukas, and I trade a little bit cryptocurrencies, and I'm very excited about Bitcoin and all this stuff.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Edgar. Basically, I'm here because of my friend, but I also have bought some Bitcoins, looking for information, collecting information, making some kind of investigation. I'm a lawyer and also looking legal reasons how it works. It's the European Court decision last year, interesting case.
A Swedish guy?
Yeah.
So how it ends up? So
Basically, they said that that's a currency. That's not It's not a thing you buy.
Commodity. It's not a commodity, but it's
Yeah, it's
money.
Let's say basically sale of Bitcoin is tax free.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is-
Yeah, because you're not selling something. It's a currency you can make transactions or something like that. It's quite interesting. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that it's in such high level.
This court case was
Yeah, it's published.
over one year, not long or something like that.
It's there available. I think half in a year. But this was in autumn. It can be found in a European court homepage.
It's even translated to Latin.
Yeah, it's translated Latin also. Yeah, that's interesting.
Who promoting it?
Sorry?
Who is promoting it?
Promoting it.
Ah, because of the European
It's
database.
a website called Trader.ly.
Oh,
The
yeah.
trading community, they basically.
It's automatically, let's say, translated for different languages, right?
I
Not
don't know
special.
about automatic but the guys just translated.
Yeah, but it's official in a European court. The homepage is official, translated in all European Union languages, and it's come, yes, from Sweden, as I understand. There was this tax institution, there was a case, and they just asked what to do with this. So, with this case, whether the guy must pay taxes or not, and so on. They said that it's not stuff. No,
Commodity.
yeah, it's not. It's a currency. So yeah, for me it was quite.
Last time I heard that Latvian VID is saying that if you're taking out this cash from ATM, it should be tax. You should pay taxes about the money you're drawing out. Something like that. It was information 2 years or a year ago. I don't know what they say now.
Yeah, but the only thing I have heard in Latvia about is that it's what once, I think in November or December on radio, SVK, there was a message in the news. They were saying that this was, I think, first time I heard something about Latvia, and they were saying that the Bitcoin, couple of millions have been. Somebody has found out that Daesh, this terroristic organization, is keeping bitcoins, and this was in Latvia. Most popular radio. Interesting.
Okay, thank you.
I'm Alex. I'm particularly interested in Ethereum projects, and I would like to find people who could write dApps.
How much Ethereum enthusiasts we have in Riga now right now?
I don't know. That's what
You're the one.
I don't know. So because I think we could form some kind of research group and get some funding from the European Union because they are funding that kind of things. So this is the
Really?
goal here.
But you're studying in university or?
No, I was studying in university, of course, but I graduated from telecommunications and we haven't had any blockchain, of course, at that time, but just get my attention.
But you actively developing those Ethereum applications?
No, I'm not in the
Just looking at the concept, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
For everyone to see. Okay, hello, my name is Alexandros. What I'm doing, basically right now I work for local IT company, D8 Corporation, somebody might know it, because we work in finance space. We're not a finance company, but we develop IT solutions for banks and finance companies. One such example could be if you heard Mania recent launch. So we are the company who developed all the technical solution. D8 Corporation.
Oh, D8.
D8, yes.
Latin company or international?
It's headquartered in Latvia, but we work internationally.
Okay.
Because we work primarily with banks, finance companies in Latvia, and in any country actually. It's a very small niche, so we have to work internationally. There is no way. In Latvia, we have probably 10-15% of our business. What I'm doing particularly, I look for partners and clients, basically in Europe right now. So I'm a sales and business development guy. Probably you are wondering what I'm doing here. If I'm not related directly to the technology, I don't develop technology. And in terms of Bitcoin, I know only the name Bitcoin and heard that it is some kind of cryptocurrency. So that's why I'm here. I want to learn more what it is and its potential, what it can do.
Yeah, because if banks are your clients, they're more and more interested in the blockchain technology and looking for solutions based on that. I don't know how I ended up this LHV bank in Estonia intention to launch the cryptocurrency last autumn. I didn't follow up, so but I was shown. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Some Japanese banks which actually is launched already some sort of services based on blockchain. Okay, look.
To be honest, I'm not doing anything with the Bitcoin. Just designing front end and just interested in a little bit in Bitcoin, skeptic about it. Don't see any real usage of it now, and just interested.
Okay, yeah, it's next slide, just about meetups. So why we're doing them? So because of networking, because of peer-to-peer learning, because I'm not here to teach or use something the best. The most value for meetup is to learn from each other in networking, some sort of free environment. We're fostering open innovation, startup subculture. It means that we're not hiding ideas and promoting it in Latvian. Because if you share your idea, probably it will get fly. If not, so it's die in your mind. So meetups are about merge technology and entrepreneurship. So that's this idea that in every group I try to pull in some sort of technical guys and business guys and some sort of half-to-half ratio in order to get some sort of synergy and then probably some sort of projects or yeah. International recognition at meetup.com, it's very important for Latvian ecosystem that we're visible from outside. So if anybody come here and doesn't have anything to do with the evening and put in meetup.com some sort of search, it's very, very good that there's a lot of things going on. So that's why we're developing those different eight together meeting groups in order to be visible from outside. And as much larger user base, it's better. Then next time, please bring your friends, projects, speakers. If you would like to speak yourself or present your real projects or companies, feel free. This is other interesting sort of groups. Probably you could find already in meetup.com. If not, so you could easily find them out. We're running some sort of technology entrepreneurship meet networks. This group is part of that, and altogether 8 drones, UI UX designers, mobile applications, automotive, blockchain, startup, big data, and biotech. And this is scheduled for February. Probably I'm not going to bore you about dates, but next one probably is this Thursday, which is drone meetup, and next will be big data meetup, which dealing everything about big data, computer vision, and other stuff. Self-driving cars is a very hot topic. We are dealing with them in automotive meetup, and probably for you, if you're looking for co-founders, there's interesting stuff. But under this Riga startup meetup group, we organize find your co-founder events every month. So there's an open stage for any stage projects. I mean, very early stage. You could pitch 5-10 minutes and find your team, co-founders or teammates in a stage when you are just trying to build your prototype. So Yeah, that's what I'm really told about this Estonian company game. Some sort of information, so probably I could suggest guys to come here next monthly meetup, which will be in March, to talk with guys as you. Maybe someone could tell them more with your experience about regulation, or because I know a couple of French guys who were intended to put this Bitcoin ATM in one bar a year ago, but they somehow they failed on that. I don't know what reasons, but it was something about regulation or something, as far as I know. So, a couple of featured events. It's probably not really relevant here, but there will be an interesting conference for designers, user experience down here in Hotel Latvia. The Riga Developer Day, Software Developer Day conference in Keynote Citadel, March 2-4. Very interesting speakers there. Probably not covering blockchain technology, but at least a couple of them last year. There was from Estonia. There was a company who tried to build some sort of banking application with blockchain elements. So probably this year they also will be there as presenters. So I'm part of the startup Latvian ecosystem, and I'm also fostering this startup ecosystem in every meetup group. And this is kind of information about a new association. We're building this. We have already built this Latvian Startup Association. There are more than 40 founders, different startups, organizations, and other stuff. And those who are caring about Latvian startups and lobbying them on a governmental scale and other. So they'll be launching event in March 9 at Nordic Clubhouse. It's the same house where TechHub is located, and this will be some sort of official Latvian Startup Association launch event with the new Minister of Economic and other interesting persons. So if you're interested, don't miss it up. So this is kind of for international expansion, probably interesting event. This is invitation only event held by Hong Kong Trade Commission or something. They are organizing 1 hour meeting with Hong Kong Finance Regulation Minister here in Riga. It will be in April 14, Nordic Clubhouse, 9 morning. So if you're interested to talk about your projects, or if you're looking for expansion to Hong Kong, they're actually interested in Latvian startups or companies which is willing to go to Asian market, and they will show up on how government would support them and how easy way to move to Hong Kong. And blockchain asked last time in the meeting what about blockchain Bitcoin. They said that they are quite open to that. And not the Asian market probably is not so restrictive as the European. So if you have friends or something looking for this Hong Kong stuff, just ask me for invitation. So this is content-party stuff, so probably you'll see a little bit more about it before your presentation.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't know about them before that, so probably you just say what is it and what was Dev Party contest. That was the right name for the...
Yeah, it's called the Dev Party contest.
Yeah, the Dev Party.
It's like a virtual counter party, so it's Dev Party.
Okay. So yeah, this is a slide about BitNation. Last year we had a speaker from Germany, from BitNation. Let's see, one of the offices in Berlin. So as I read in news, they're very active in Estonia right now. So there's something doing with government. I really need to double check what the situation. But I get a feeling that there will be some sort of announcements about integration in governments, this kind of thing. There's also an interesting paper I found out called Blockchain Technology in Decentralized Governments is the state still necessary? That's a good question, probably. This is more broader aspect of how this blockchain stuff is could perform in eyes of society, not of governments, because it's good. It's kind of nasty or notorious question of doing it in the state. But at least there's one paper from University of Nicosia, so probably more about it. And recently found out this information about Asian banks investigating Bitcoin and blockchain technologies. And in this link, there's a lot of banks which somehow integrating already this blockchain technology in Asia. In New York, probably there's also sort of conference. Okay, but one of the Korean banks kicks off blockchain remittance project. Then Singaporean banks gets involved in blockchain action. Japanese first teams up these blockchain banking projects. China Central Bank considers issuing these sometimes. It's kind of interesting Asian movements. Japanese banks doing. I don't know what is R3 consortium, by the way, blockchain. And South Korean banks invest in blockchain firms. So yeah, so it seems that in Asia it's pretty active right now. So probably it will also move up here. Yeah, and important companies. So yeah, probably if you're first time in blockchain ecosystem, you probably can heard about Bitfari, which is actually a Latvian company with back office here. If somebody knows the guys who could work with this company or found it, you're free to invite them to speak about it. But it's really hard to get up here, at least as we tried. So it's as far as I know, this is the most valuable startup, Latvian startup, if you consider it Latvian startup, because it's some sort of roots here, but it's registered in the United States, as far as I know. They have 51 million venture capital inside in last round or something. So it's hugest venture capital investment in Latvian company, in Latvian born company.
Actually, 90.
90?
90.
Oh, 90. Cool. Yeah. So
we have American and Georgian investors.
Yeah, exactly. So it's fancy. It's kind of amount of money in one company, but there's still a very, very small amount of people know about it.
Yeah, they actually built one of the biggest Bitcoin mining factory in Iceland and in Georgia as well. In Georgia, they built it the one like in 3 months with some help of government funds. And that was the whole point. They had some money from the United States that helped Georgia to develop. So using that money, they also invested a little bit in mining. It's actually very interesting when you start going into details.
Alright, so it's getting political, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so kind of straightforward, I would say.
I think they also developed their own chips.
Exactly. But that was one of the biggest reasons why US guys invested, because the local guy, I just heard the stories. Like he spent two months in the room without going out, just with boxes of vodka and some electronics, basically developing the chip. A really crazy guy.
But now he spent his time with Richard Branson in his island.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he can go. His name is Valery Vladilov, and you can just Facebook him, and he's like, oh, just
Richard Branson.
So,
Cool. Yeah, that's.
They are one of the biggest mining pools, like top 5.
Yeah.
worldwide.
So you see there's opportunity to build international huge companies in Latvia, by the way, or started that here. Okay. Sponsors: Riga University, Microsoft. If you're interested in Azure Cloud Service, drop me an email. I can send you an invite for free stuff. Autumn, Labs of Latvia, which is sort of portal about technology and startup news. And so yeah, we are close speakers. So I have. I will forward cable to your PC. Floor is yours.
Okay, so this is the wallet that I've been working on. Technically, it's it has all the Bitcoin functionality as well. So when you first open the wallet, you open this demo wallet with a little bit of Bitcoin on it. So if you want to send, it works just like any other Bitcoin wallet, basically. So I want to send Bitcoin to this address. I just enter the amount, send to this address. You know, I guess most of you have used Bitcoin before, right? So you know how wallets work. So it's, you know, it's just a normal Bitcoin wallet in this sense. On top of being a Bitcoin wallet, it also has counterparty functionalities, and counterparty is basically just tokens that are not Bitcoin. They're just different tokens that run on top of Bitcoin. I will explain more later, but I can just show an example of how we send another token instead of Bitcoin. So you have something called folding coin. Here I have only 3 folding coins on my wallet, so I can send 1 folding coin. I can enter a Bitcoin address, or I can actually enter an alias. I'll also explain what that means, but I can just write my name, and I know I own this address, so I know it will go to my address. So I send 1 folding coin to this address, which is owned by Janssen, which is me. And I enter the password.
Do you validate this address? Not any other coin address for the state, for example.
Yes. Well, you mean what is an alias? Or?
Yeah, I mean if you would send instead of alias just an address.
Yeah, then you just enter the address, like any other wallet.
Do you check if this address belongs to this folded coin?
Yeah, it's an API that does it. But like the use case, like I had in mind, is, for example, I'm on the phone with someone. I own this alias, Janssen, so I'm on the phone, I just tell him, enter Janssen, and he does. And then he replies, okay, so your address is starts with 1K, 2E, right? And I confirm, yes, that's my address, so it's correct. And then he sends it. Because otherwise you cannot, like on the phone, you can never tell an entire address over the phone, right? You can do it over email or chat, but not on the phone. So I hope this is actually a functionality that other wallets will implement as well. So it was one of the ideas that I just wanted to put into a real use and see how it turns out. So, okay, so now it's failed. And it's probably because the APIs are not very stable. I'll try again. Yeah, it's sent. And now I'll try to explain what is counterparty. So if you look at the transaction, it is a normal Bitcoin transaction from my address, 1A, at this address. Every Bitcoin transaction works like this, like you have change, so it goes back to 1 AE. The recipient was this address, and technically it works like you have to send a little bit of Bitcoin to the address as well as the token. This is, I think, around 2 cents worth of Bitcoin that you actually send to the recipient of the asset. And how do you send the asset? Well, you just put a message inside of the Bitcoin transaction. And that's the counterparty explained right here. So counterparty is Bitcoin with a language embedded on top of Bitcoin. So if I have, like say here, if I have 1 falling coin on my address, then all the counterparty servers, they know that he has more than 1 falling coin, so it approves the transaction and it updates the counterparty database. So it's a pretty neat system. It works well. It's been around for 2 years, and many projects are using counterparty now. It's the same as colored coins, if you know. So anyway, so that is basically just the wallet. So you know, it's like Bitcoin wallet plus some other functionality. And another thing you can do with counterparty is you can send a message. Again, it's encoded in the same way, like you send a Bitcoin transaction, it stays on the blockchain forever, and then every counterparty server will then interpret your message, and it will know that your address sent a message like this. I can show you now a use case of this actually. So say you've been working on a file for a long time. You're a programmer, so you've been working for like a month on your own project. It's secret. You work at home, and then you're going to send it to someone else. Before you send it, you can notarize the file. So just say that I made this file. This is what's called a checksum. Every file has a unique checksum, and then I can notarize this file from my address. So if there's a dispute in the future, everyone will know that I had this file at this time. And it's, I don't know if there's any other way actually to really notarize files like this. No one's using it yet, but it could be a use case. Anyway, so I just built a tool just to show that it works. So basically, so the wallet is only this first tab right here. The rest are only sort of different tools. So for example, like I told you, my alias is Janssen. I already registered, so no one else can register it after I did it. It's the same with you can register whatever.
Where is it stored?
In the counterparty database.
Who maintains the database?
No one. It's distributed. Like anyone can run a server, so there are many servers around the world. And the code is open source.
So it's like blockchain, Bitcoin.
Exactly. Exactly. It is like Bitcoin. The consensus is just like Bitcoin.
But what's the benefit for people to run this server? They get some fee for signing these transactions or what?
No. You don't get anything from running the server.
So it's more enthusiasts.
Well, for example, I run this. I need an API to run it. So thankfully there are some other guys who actually have made APIs that I can use for free. But if they didn't, I would need to run an API just to run this wallet in the background. Likewise, if I had a big project on counterparty, maybe I wouldn't trust other people who run their servers, so I would also run my own server just to know that correct is correct, to know my balances, know everything. So people have some incentives to run servers, but it's sort of the same with Bitcoin as well. Like if you are a miner, you get your rewards, but if you run a Bitcoin server or a Bitcoin node, you don't get anything in return. You just do it for any kind of reason, right? Except economic reason.
But if you run a Bitcoin node, don't you get the fee for approving transactions?
No, only if you're a miner.
Only miners.
Yeah.
Comparing with different other platforms or solutions, what are the benefits? For example, comparing with the NXT, currencies, you can carry some additional information, as for example Ethereum does. What are the benefits?
The difference, the counterparty runs on Bitcoin, so every counterparty transaction is a Bitcoin transaction. So you're sort of all the infrastructure with Bitcoin you can use for counterparty as well. For example, this wallet, I use a library called not BitPay, but BitPay made a big library for everything you need for Bitcoin. So building this was quite easy actually, because I just use whatever they used. If this were on another blockchain,
so
I would have to invent everything.
Bitcoin blockchain for that?
Yeah, everything is Bitcoin.
Okay, but comparing, for example, with the Mastercoin, it is actually also a kind of top-up structure upon Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. Mastercoin is it's a competitor with the exact same approach as Counterparty.
Okay.
But as far as I know, people don't really use Mastercoin anymore.
Okay. But anyway, what I wanted to understand is the idea of the benefit.
Of using Counterparty instead of a different blockchain?
There are different projects which are built upon Bitcoin, but add some functionality. For example,
okay, so
attaching is
everything is about the network effect. The more people use it, the more valuable it is. So the problem with Mastercoin is that no one uses it anymore. So if you want to make something on Mastercoin, you don't have these block explorers, you don't have the library that I just made, for example, and APIs you don't have. With Counterparty,
so it is kind of something similar to Mastercoin. It solves the same set of tasks.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks.
Yeah, good question. And I just made like an algorithm so you can make some random names like here. But anyway, to register a name, it costs 0.5 XCP. XCP is a sort of currency for Counterparty for everything that Bitcoin cannot be used for. XCP can be escrowed, Bitcoin cannot be escrowed. So they made like an additional currency. And right now it just costs about 40 cents to register a name. So I registered like lots of names, like my own name and names I might be able to sell later in the future. There's a second-hand market for names as well. So if I just, I make Dogecoin, I can call it, this is something like that. And then I will say that there will only be 1,000 coins. Then I created my own coin. I mean, why would anyone use my coin? That's a different question. But it just means that you can make your own coin. Some people might use it, to create, for example, if you have a business, you can create a discount token. If you own one Dogecoin, you can get $10 discount at my shop, for example. So it could be used for stuff like that. And this is also something that is used in quite a lot of Bitcoin wallets these days. So when you create a new wallet, you generate 12 random words. And if your computer breaks or whatever, you still have these 12 words written down. So they're unique, and you can always recover. You can back up your wallet with only these 12 words. And it also means that this wallet you can use interchangeably with other wallets that also use the same passphrase seeds. If you want your addresses to start with a specific letter, like 1A for example, or 1B.
By the way, what is vanity?
Hmm?
What's vanity?
Actually, I don't know what it means. It's just a term used in Bitcoin when you have an address that starts with specified characters. So if you want an address that starts with your initials, you just determine that, and it's called a vanity address. So here, the pattern is very, very simple. It just has to start with 1B. If you want to start with 1BB, it will take quite a long time. So for each character you add, it takes exponentially more time. And I didn't optimize the algorithm or anything, so basically you would want maximum 3 characters.
But you can do the same with the Bitcoin wallet as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. And another thing, you can also run this on a computer that's offline, for example. So if you have a computer that's never online, you generate your address there and you print it out, it's considered to be safer because then you don't risk anyone hacking your computer and stealing your keys. Those are just some tools, it's not that important. So I can show you one project that has actually, this is a little bit funny because Coinparty was developed to be a financial platform. They made like all these basic units for real, finance and try to replace New York Stock Exchange and all this. Of course, it doesn't work that way. But the one use case that actually became very popular is trading cards for children. So there are some guys that are creating cards like this, and they're always putting a fixed number of cards in supply. So they just design like coins for Doge. They said there are 1,200 cards, and then you can then you get it to your wallet, you own it, and then you can buy and sell cards. So people are actually speculating in this. They're buying a Doge card and they hope to sell it later at a profit. I don't know. I mean, in a way, it doesn't make sense. But it does have. The people are using it for this. So it's, it's like you aim for the stars. You want to make like a financial platform, and in the end, it's like children who are using it for this. So you can actually sell Doge cards for 10 XCP, which is $6, or you can buy it right now at a higher price. So under the hood you have lots of functions as well that I made. So if someone's ever interested in making a wallet, they can just take the code that I made. It's open source, and you basically only need one line of code to create a transaction. If you want to try it, you go on GitHub, you go here, download zip. And you unzip it, and then it's stored locally on your computer, and then you just double click index.html, and it opens in your browser, and there it is. So I don't know, there's not that much more to say about it. I guess it's a bit confusing, right? So this was the competition. So I made this one. Someone else made actually a wallet just for that children's game I told you about. So you see, it also uses the same passphrase seed as in my wallet. So here you can see you can trade all these cards. But actually, there is one use case for Coin Party that no one has seen yet, and I hope that they will start doing it. So, change or a vending machine or anything like that, when they send out bitcoins, they could piggyback a Coin Party token at the same time, and that could represent a discount next time you use that exchange. So if I want to send a token, I can also send any other kind of Bitcoin at the same time. So if I send, no matter what kind of Bitcoin I send, I can also send Coin Party. It goes both ways. And another thing, lots of people, or a few people here mentioned Ethereum, right? So Ethereum is a Coin Party, but is as well it has programming capabilities built into the blockchain. So it's Turing complete. So with Ethereum, you also have all these tokens. Like anyone can make their own token on the Ethereum chain, and then they can program it. So you can make lotteries, you can make all these kind of things. And it's also meant to be implemented in the future in Coin Party, all the same functionalities. So you can basically, if I create my coin, I can say that if whatever happens in the future, then someone will get coins, and if it does not happen, someone else will get it, and all this. Yeah, I don't know. If people have questions, just feel free to ask.
Yeah. Have questions?
What was the address in the GitHub?
GitHub.com/jpja. Just jpja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the website, it was just locally, yeah?
Yeah, you download the zip from like this from GitHub. Then you extract it, and then you open index.html.
If I understood correctly, then I can make my own Bitcoin?
You can make your own asset, yes, it runs on Bitcoin.
And then people can start using it.
You can make your own coin, yes. And then try to pump it up. Do some proper work.
So, is there some kind of alternative for this tool? Is this doing something better than some other tools? So I can make my own Bitcoin just from the start without this website.
Yeah, you have Counter Wallet. I can show you.
Counterwallet.io.
Mm-hmm.
Counterparty also.
Yeah. Yeah, so the thing you need to do if you're using Counter Wallet, first you need a little bit of Bitcoin on the wallet. So I guess that's about 10 cents or something worth of Bitcoin. And then you can start playing. So about these coins, so far there are 47,000 registered coins. Like there are 47,000 names that have been registered so far. So I mean, it's impossible, you know, just to make a coin and then make people use your coin because there are so many other coins. So like, what's the point? And actually, most of the people who have registered, they only register because they want to sell the name later. Right? If you were very early, you could register the name gold, and it's likely someone else will want to buy gold later. So it's all for the second-hand market, all speculation. So you say 6 hours ago, someone, I guess this is Japanese. It's quite big in Japan for some reason. Yeah, exactly. I think the Japanese have started doing what I told, like they're registering their names just because they want an alias or something like that.
But you can only use the alias to send these coins, right? You cannot use the same alias for Bitcoin.
Well, you can use it for any wallet that has this thing implemented. And so far, it's only my wallet. So, you know, I'd really like to see like Electrum or some of those, you know, do it if I can. But the thing though is that, like, so someone described Madcoin, and there's only one address that is linked to Madcoin. But at the same time, you can also sell the name Madcoin. And that's what, you know, you can speculate in, that someone else will want to buy Madcoin later at a higher price. And especially today, since you only pay like 40 cents for a name, and you know, if someone is just willing to pay €5 for it later, then you have 1,000% profit. And there's a marketplace. So there's a guy who made an entire site just to facilitate trade of asset names. The analogy is like a domain name. So it's like a domain name for Bitcoin. So the thing I mentioned about you know, counterparty versus mastercoin is that people are actually using counterparty quite a lot. So every day we see there's yesterday it was 490 transactions. Today it's been 1,500. So people are like using it.
This marketplace is in Bitcoins or in counterparty or tokens?
Well, counterparty is, everything on counterparty is Bitcoin. So you just have like every time you make a Bitcoin transaction, you add some small piece of data. And this data, it adds information to the counterparty database. It's a bit tricky to get your head around, like at least for me it was. But it sort of works because the thing that Bitcoin did is that they, or Satoshi or whoever created Bitcoin, you know, they found a way how to solve the double spending problem. You know, like if someone sent Bitcoin, it was added to a block by a miner and all this. And instead of inventing your own blockchain for counterparty, they just decided, okay, we're just gonna have Bitcoin addresses do the same stuff, and let Bitcoin decide who makes the transaction. So we're just using the infrastructure that already is. We build this on top, like a layer on top of Bitcoin, and we will assume that Bitcoin has the network effect, and we will just create another network on top of this, so like everything will gravitate towards this instead of using a different blockchain.
So what's next? You just build some sort of wallet, win competitions, and what after that? Because well, somehow
it's a good question. So
Can we make our Bitcoin?
no, I can. The first thing I worked on today is to add something called Shapeshift to the wallet. Yeah, so with the Shapeshift you can buy and sell different assets without being registered or anything. It's extremely convenient. You just type in, I want to buy 5 Litecoin. It shows you which address to send Bitcoin, how much, and it sends you back Litecoins automatically. So I'll implement that for the wallet. That's only with the counterparty assets though.
In Shapeshift, it was a coin or what it was? I don't understand.
No, Shapeshift is a service.
I know what Shapeshift, but there is this counterparty logo.
Yeah, so
It means like I can change my BTC to counterparty or what?
Yeah, exactly. You say so you want to register, say, one asset name. You just need 0.5 XRP. That's 40 cents worth.
Yes.
You know, so but you must have it, otherwise you cannot register. You know, so you don't want to sign up for an exchange with your email and all that stuff. So you just go to Shapeshift.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
But how much cost one counterparty Satoshis?
About in Bitcoin, I don't know, but in dollars or euros, it's less than €1.
And okay, I buy this counterparty coin, and where can I use?
You don't really need it. You only need it if you want to register a name. For every other action, you don't need it. You just need Bitcoin.
Okay, I buy counterparty coins, and I can register my like domain, my name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like cat coin.
What?
Like there's dog coin and cat coin, yeah?
Exactly.
Rabbit coin, and then marketing so people will be using it.
Yes, but no, it's not only coin. I can register. What else you have? What solution? What you have? I can make my coin. I can make what can I make?
Yeah. So technically,
That or DAO.
what you do when you register a coin with a specific
Yes.
name.
Yes.
And someone here made 777 cat coins 171 days ago.
Yes.
So that name is taken. You can.
Yes, I understand this.
And that coin works like any other coin. It works like Bitcoin.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
they can send it from their address
Okay,
and other
I
address
can
and
register a company too.
you
Like
can
decentralized autonomous company.
Well, some people have talked about that, but then again, I guess it's more like a legal question.
Illegal?
No, legal or illegal, I don't know.
Okay.
But you know, it's.
But it's decentralized. Why it's
you know, in theory, you can say that. Okay, my token, or you can call it the share in my company is just like a share on the stock exchange. But then again, how do you convince others that you're not lying? And how is this legally? So this is like just like a building block, you know, fundamental building block. But how people are going to use it, you know, that's a different question. And again, that is why to this date it's only being used for trading cards for children with these pictures and all that. Maybe in the future they will use it for more, I don't know, but you know, the thing that is popular right now is just this
It's like
these
it's
cards.
in a very early stages.
Yeah, it is.
You say you wanna work with the Nasdaq? Yes. What was this idea?
Yeah, no. Counterparty itself was established by people who wanted to make an alternative to traditional finance. So all of this can be used as shares.
It's
and
like
stuff.
stocks, commodities, yes.
Yeah, all of it.
Yes.
But I'm just saying that it's
But
you know, it's too big a leap because you have it's like a legal minefield. You know, like, how can people trust this?
Yes, yes. But I heard it's happening now. There's Wall Street guys and all these big banks are looking for opportunity to implement the blockchain in their business. And in this counterparty role in this.
There is one company called Symbiont. So the guys who made Counterparty 2 years ago, they made this company Symbiont last year.
Yes.
And they're also the ones who arranged the competition this year. So these are using Counterparty, and they want to make smart securities, as I call them, on Counterparty.
Yes.
And they have actually got quite a lot of funding. But so far they haven't really released any products, so I have no idea what they're really working or how far they are or anything.
Okay, from investors' viewpoint, like if I wanna invest some money in a counterparty, how do you see this?
You cannot really. There's really no reason to invest in it, I suppose, because it's assets. They are you just create it, and you use only Bitcoin to transfer it.
Yes.
So in that way, it's like you just open and it's free and all this. XCP you only use to register a new asset name. It's like an anti-spam feed and you need it. But then again, there's so much XCP around, and so it will not drive the price. So I don't know, maybe, what I did, I just bought some of these names. But then again, maybe there will never be a second-hand market for names. So
yes.
So who knows?
You in exchanges counterparty like in Poloniex.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
And these people trade like hope for future. I don't understand. It's like they buy these counterparty coins and hope.
You know, people buy all kind of coins,
Yes.
and I don't know why they buy them. But you don't really need it. You can use counterparty, but you don't need a coin. You need Bitcoin.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I also have.
You're saying I don't buy this coin, yes?
No.
Or buy? What is your?
Well, I do have some XCP, but like I said, there's no reason it should increase in price. I just have some. It's used for anti-spam fees. There are some other features as well where you have to put some spam fees somehow, and you cannot use Bitcoin, and therefore XCP is used. I guess it's more like the entire ecosystem that we could invest in specific projects that run on Counterparty. But then again, that's like investing in a specific stock on the stock exchange. You don't invest in the stock exchange itself.
Okay, any more questions? No questions for you? Okay. Thank you then.
Yeah.
That's it for speaker time.
I have one.
Yeah.
So the first was Bitcoin, then some kind of other, but what changed was only some kind of algorithm, how fast it was growing, or what's the limitation. And when making these new ones, they are then default, the Bitcoin algorithm, or some kind of another one.
No, every transaction is a Bitcoin transaction. So that's the difficult part, is solved by Bitcoin. When you make a transaction that has counterparty encoding embedded into the transaction, then you basically just give an instruction to the database. So if I own 10 dog coins, and I give an instruction I want to send 5 Dogecoins to another address, and that transaction goes through Bitcoin. Then the counterparty servers will see that this transaction went through, and then they will update the database accordingly. So I lose 5 Dogecoin, and someone else receives 5 Dogecoin.
Can I make different algorithms so the new currency, not currency, but this new algorithm with my name, or some kind of other coin, can I change so that it will be growing faster?
How do you mean by growing?
No, it was, if I understood correctly, then Bitcoin, some kind of 2 years ago, then was growing fast, and then some kind of another coin was growing faster, Dogecoin maybe, or some kind of another one. So by mining, they did different.
Yeah, if you make a counterparty coin, you specify how many coins it will be. But there will never be a mining of a counterparty coin, because it doesn't work that way. So you can say, okay, there will be 1 million coins. Then you also, later, you can increase the supply. You can, but then it's a social contract, it's not a mining contract. You know, like you tell, people in your community that I will increase by 1,000 coins every day, then you're free to do so. But then they have to trust you, it's not mining in that way. So you cannot really compare. You can also say that I create 1 million coins, and you can also, there's also like an instruction that no, it's, the supply is limited from us, it's capped. That's the only thing you can do.
Okay. Well, sitting there, I found out that Ethereum Frontier is released. This is actually the latest stage of the project, but I found out. So I didn't have time to check it by myself, but I see that there's some sort of command line tools, some simple applications. First, live contract. Who knows what the live contract is?
Just accept it?
Yeah, it's some sort of decentralized, some kind of decentralized contract between 2 parts, which is central, without third party authority, something like that. It's rule. It's I don't know exactly how it works, by the way. but people say
It's like you have signature and I have signature,
and there's some sort of conditions,
algorithm,
predetermined algorithm for conditions.
Yes.
Then it's
without.
Yeah, but it's third part. Yeah. So Ethereum, you could create your own cryptocurrency. You could start Kickstarter project with Trusted Scrollsword. I don't know what that kind of thing. And what more interesting, you could create democratic autonomous organization. It sounds scary. Start the organization now. So I don't know what it really means. But ISIL or Daesh probably use it.
BitNation now use Ethereum.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
This Ethereum platform, but currency they use Bitcoin.
Okay. There is also possibility to make decentralization applications. There's a lot of them. I don't know what they're doing. Definitely should check them out. Yeah. And interesting thing that I found out that founder of Ethereum called Vitalik Buterin recently were in Tallinn talking in university, some sort of event. I just occasionally found out in Facebook or somewhere else that they again some couple of years ahead of us. So yeah, that's it. So. We got the very last line of announcements. So do you have any of you announcements about blockchain projects?
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, just come on.
Hi, good evening. Evgeny, I'm from Regional Bank. I'm automating Regional Bank on management level. So we have one idea about utilizing blockchain for internal commercial reasons. The idea is very simple, so I would like to describe it in a few words. If someone is interested or have an ideas about that, please let me know. So because we are just thinking about that. So the idea is simple. You know, in every bank there is a system which tracks the money, like where it's written all the accounts and where all the transactions take place.
You mean ABS?
ABS. But in different languages, people use different abbreviations. Some use general ledger. So what the system does is it has myself has an account number. Usually it's an IBAN, and this IBAN has I can put it initially 0, then I put 10 euros. So then I spend it. It has transactions, and so it's a ledger. So when we as a bank work with clients, we need to register the client in this ledger, and then in this ledger all the transactions are being calculated. Because we are a bank which deals with big clients, with corporate clients, we do not really want to deal with small clients and account for every little detail in the account. We would rather find someone who deals with small clients, and we just deal with one big client. So imagine the situation where we have a company who owns 1,000 trucks. These trucks going all around Europe, and these trucks has drivers. We're not yet in a driverless age, but in Europe all the trucks have drivers. And this company says, okay, we want to give each driver a card, and this card will be used in the ATMs or petrol stations, and there will be like 1,000 cards. And for us, this company, that's a typical customer of ours. So it's a big client who has 1,000 cars that run around Europe, and they have cards. And we as a bank, we can issue all these cards. But when it comes to the compliance and legislation, what happens is that all these 1,000 drivers, they need to come to us. We need to identify each driver, look at, find his passport, check his income, and then only after this we can issue, card by card, all these 1,000 cards, and then all these drivers, they will be in our general ledger. It will be stored in the general ledger, and in the bank, general ledger is expensive, and we pay for licensing for every account, for every transaction, to the vendor who is doing this ledger. So now, because we're living in the digital age, and there is a Bitcoin and so public ledger, all this blockchain ledger. So the idea was, is it possible to have an opportunity to run a local blockchain, which in case we have a client like that who comes with his own clients and say, well, we run a copy for you. You open as many accounts as you want. In our general ledger, in the bank general ledger, we keep only one account for big clients, and all these little drivers, they are kept in a separate ledger. And this separate ledger is controlled by the cryptography. I mean the integrity of the ledger, because the technology is there, and then we can just maintain such ledger, one for all our clients, so for all these small clients, or we can run separate ledger, small ledgers for each of these corporate clients, and then work it in this way, and remove all these people and transactions from our general ledger. If I'm describing the idea correctly, is it clear or not yet? I can.
But how do you think, if we talk about those small ones that you want to keep out of your general ledger?
Yes.
So how you see who will manage them? It will be separate companies, separate window.
It doesn't, for us at the moment, just an idea. So it can be a situation where we have people who run these ledgers in the bank. We can outsource it to someone. In case we have to make sure that there are no new money appear in this ledger without us, being involved. And in our situation, it will look like that. So this big client with 1,000 drivers would have, 100 euros in our account. And then all the distribution of these 100 euros among these cards will be stored in this little ledger that will be run separately. And then in case he wants not 1,000 but 2,000, yeah, he can generate two more 1,000, little accounts in this little ledger. But in our main account, there will still 100, which as a money that is used to, for all these cards.
Are you reusing the Bitcoin blockchain, or you are running some separate servers and manage your own, let's say, blockchain?
I don't know. So we are just now discussing this idea. So is it possible to utilize the open ledger for this? So of course, if we're using the open ledger, there is a possibility of an attack. Because if someone knows that we are tagging real money to some satoshis, you can send, you can flood this with some, if they know the addresses, the real addresses of these people who are using that, then they can actually flood this with satoshis and change the balances on the cards. Because these balances should be linked to real cars, which the drivers will be using, when they're going around Europe and buying stuff.
Actually, the most interesting thing, as soon as you are going to run your
closed ledger.
For open ledger. If something happens with this Echo platform, you can suffer from it. Yeah.
Yes.
So you have two ways: either open to everyone, so it's it might be exactly stable because a lot of people can support it, but also you're open for attacks. The other approach is to create your closed ecosystem. For example, to negotiate with the different banks and to say, okay, we're keeping 5 servers, you're keeping 5 servers, and some partners. So it is closed form. You can protect yourself from external attacks.
Yes.
Though you need to trust your partners.
Yeah, but that's a point to discuss, because there were several options. Either to use, take some abandoned version of some coin, like it was mentioned, like cat coin. I don't know. So put it in an isolated environment, find someone who will run it, and then use this technology. Or that's an idea that we're looking at. If someone has some practical thoughts about it, I'll be really grateful to hear. And also, if this is practical enough, we can also spend some money on some of that.
I'm new to this area, but I think points to look to a colored coin, counterparty, Ethereum, creating your own token on Ethereum, and Ethereum could be run on public blockchain, or also you can start your own Genesis transaction and create your own private
blockchain.
Yes.
Because we are thinking about, to people who work in the bank, this should look like another ledger where you can say, okay, give me a new account, or here's your IBAN. Do the transaction, here is the transaction. Give me a list of transactions, here's your list of transactions through the standard API, just like working with any other, banking system. But behind this API, there could be, this blockchain ledger, which is on one hand is controlled by the cryptography, because it's the integrity of this ledger, and it's
Well, I have one idea.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's exactly what you need, but so you make your private ledger.
Yeah.
Is that like once every day, every transaction will be added as a new block on the ledger?
Yes.
Something like that. Then what you could do then practically is once a day you take the hash of the last block and you embed that hash onto the Bitcoin blockchain.
Yes.
Because then it's like anchored forever in
I
the
see.
Bitcoin blockchain.
Yeah, and then it's like a checksum for the whole thing, which is stored publicly. Yes.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. But the point with the public blockchain was that my understanding is that nowadays it's the confirmation time is way too long for Bitcoin, or isn't it? Because I'm not really into this in so much detail.
But I thought, so you have your private chain,
Yeah.
and you're not going to anchor it all the time to Bitcoin.
Yes,
Maybe
once
once a day.
Yeah.
I don't know if it takes 10 or 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Does it matter?
Yeah. Yeah, in this case, this could be used as a checksum for internal blockchain.
Because that's the thing, because if you have a private chain in the bank, the risk is kind of that maybe someone will go back 1 week in time, make a small change. But if you have anchored it every day on the Bitcoin blockchain, that's impossible.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's,
sort of
that's
kind of
what you
day.
want to achieve, right?
Yeah. That's a good idea. I'm just trying to get ideas of how to look into it, because we do not have knowledge at the bank, and people who are we have people who own some bitcoins, but not in the IT developers who can tell you, okay, exactly, we will now open you little blockchain in a corner, make an API, do this and that. Here's how it works. So we just go on exploring stuff.
So since you're only working in this industry, probably you should consider your existing knowledge in banking software and Ethereum, some sort of thing, and make some sort of solution for it.
Maybe. But you probably are familiar with the company I'm working for, so D8 Corporation.
Yes.
Yeah.
You made some piece of software with our main general ledger and the credit card system.
It was back, I think, 4 years.
No, more, 10 years ago.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you probably the developer should have knowledge of existing systems, because they should work together somehow through the APIs and other stuff.
Of course, it's like in every project happens. So there are some resources from the bank side and from our side, because we integrate really. When we build, for example, online banks, we integrate with those general ledgers, and of course we need resources from the bank.
So the only problem that we in Latvia can't find any Ethereum developers right now, yeah? There's no Ethereum developers? No one?
Does it really matter which platform to be from? I think it's just an understanding of blockchain, and that's it. Or are there any technical differences? They're so big, I don't know.
If I understand correctly, Homestead, they will have a wallet which will support trading of custom tokens, and this could be exactly what is needed out of the box.
You mean we can assign real currency as a custom token to the wallet?
No, I think it's like creating custom token, then it should support sending between accounts with custom tokens. I think in near future the thing which you are looking for could be available.
What's the name of this technology?
Ethereum, next release of Ethereum, which is expected sometime in March, should be called Homestead.
How it's called?
Ethereum.
No, Ethereum, yeah, I wrote it down, but within Ethereum, what's
It's the next release.
next release, okay.
Because this is so-called frontier, it's some sort of beta or alpha or something. It could be interesting. We'll build on top of
Maybe
the...
you could scroll down a bit. There was a section creating your own digital token or something like this.
Yeah, because with in our scenario, these drivers, they can have cards in different currencies. So they can have a card in euros, card in.
You mean this one?
Yes.
Issue your token.
There is a price for this. We have it in existing ledgers. The price for transaction and for account, approximately, or is it?
No, it's for creation of
to create this. I see. It's not
yeah,
for
it's not for transaction. You should launch some sort of hackathon probably for such kind of thing.
Yeah, well, because I'm really, it's just an idea that we just briefly discussed, and we even don't know if it's really worth it. Because the value of the blockchain is that it is public and no one can change it. And with our scenario, it's not really public, and we can, and it's owned by us. And maybe it's not worth it because maybe it's an overkill. I mean, it's. So this is why feedback is interesting for me from people who are familiar with the technology. Maybe it's just easier to set up a standard SQL table with postings and accounts and then.
Yeah. So any comments from you guys? Could you elaborate on that?
Well, I'd go for the MySQL.
For what?
The SQL.
SQL.
Because the blockchain can do many things, but it's not a solution to your problem maybe. The only thing I can say is like how many parties are involved. Kind of is it like 2 parties that need to trust each other, or 10, or?
It's basically the bank, the big client, and then that's it. And when this client is just we're just accounting his cards for him. Essentially, that's his sub accounts for him in a sense.
Yeah, so maybe the checksum that you embed to the blockchain approach could add a little bit of value because then neither the bank nor the customer need to trust that the other one will not go back in time and change anything. But that's the only value it adds. The rest you can do in the database. Like
The point was that instead of creating all these, mechanisms of calculating, because it takes time to write it, or you need to look for software that is already written, maybe for a different purpose, adapting that. And here, like from the external, view, we have a ledger which already has some.
So do you want to use it for only internal account keeping, or you could agree with another partner bank to have as a settlement part of settlement?
Yeah, this
there's plenty of solutions like that.
Yeah, this actually was one of the possible scenarios. It was discussed maybe around a year ago, maybe more, when there was big discussion about disconnecting Russia from the SWIFT, and many Russian banks they said, well, where is our teletype? I said, what the fuck is this? I'm sorry, what's the teletype? Some of them was calling, do you have maybe we can use this blockchain for this? But then all these discussions they somehow stopped. But there was and now there are I think several initiatives where this the blockchain is used to settle between the banks. We're trying. Sorry?
Like R3C?
Yeah, but we are trying to participate with them, but sorry?
They said they are closed now, as far as
they say they're open. They say that we say yes, let's continue what's next, so how we can integrate, and they keep selling somehow, because in the 2 months time say, well, we are open again. So what's next?
It was $500,000, I think, wasn't it, for a year participation?
We didn't go till the financials. So far it's all about how technically it should work. Because to me it's all about we need to go through the compliance AML, because it's many participants in that, and our regulators may be not happy about that, because if you mention to them, they usually go furious saying that this is forbidden, all these cryptocurrencies is not here.
Okay.
So thank you for the feedback. If you have something, let me know.
And could you say what does this support?
barter.